The Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth. Wordsworth was one of the most prominent English Romantic poets. In his poems, he focused on nature, children, and the common people. He collaborated with his friend and fellow poet Samuel Coleridge on a collection of poems called Lyrical Ballads, which is considered a significant work of the English Romantic period. Wordsworth also provided his thoughts on poetic theory and described poetry as a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. In The Solitary Reaper, he shares the joy he experienced while listening to the song of a peasant girl who was working in a field and singing all alone to herself. Let's listen to the poem now. Behold her single in the field, yon solitary Highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here, or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. No nightingale did ever chant more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling near was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far-off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humbly familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and may be again. Whate'er the theme the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work, and o'er the sickle bending. I listened, motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. Let's now look at the poem in detail. The first stanza of The Solitary Reaper sets the scene. The poet draws the attention of the listener to the song of a girl who's working all alone in the fields of Scottish Highlands. Engrossed in her work, she does not notice the poet and keeps singing unconsciously. Since the poet wants her to sing uninterrupted, he requests other people to either stop or just pass by gently without disturbing her. The girl is engaged in activities like cutting and binding of the grain, and while doing this work she keeps on singing a sad or melancholic song. The sadness in the peasant girl's song makes the poet feel as if the deep vale or valley is brimming with the musical notes. Then he compares her voice and song to that of a nightingale. He feels that her song is even more melodious than the chant of a nightingale who's welcoming a caravan of tired travellers in the Arabian sands. In fact, he feels that her voice is more thrilling than that of the cuckoo singing in the spring season. It seems to him that the musical notes of the girl's song travel as far as the islands of Hebrides, located on the west coast of Scotland, and that these notes seem to stir the sea near these islands. The poet then wonders about the subject of the song. He does not understand the lyric of the girl's song. Therefore, going by the melancholic tune, he thinks that the girl could be recounting some sad incidents which have taken place in the past. He also assumes that the song might also be about ordinary everyday tragedies, such as the loss of a loved one or some other painful incident. In the final stanza, the poet stops meditating over the theme of the girl's song and gets totally captivated by its melody. He feels that her song is never ending, and it goes on while she slowly and diligently carries out her work in the fields. He listens to her spellbound, and then climbs the hill carrying the music in his heart, even though he can no longer hear it clearly. In this way, the final 2 lines of the poem emphasizes the soothing effect of beautiful memories on human thoughts and feelings. Thus, the poem is a reminiscence of the poet's wonderful experience and a spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. The Solitary Reaper is a narrative poem set to music. This style of poetry or verse is also known as a ballad. The poem also follows the rhyme scheme of AB, AB, CC, DD. Wordsworth has used poetic devices such as alliteration, in which the sound of consonant is repeated in phrases. For example, sings a melancholy strain and silence of the seas. The Solitary Reaper is one of the most famous poems of William Wordsworth. It uses the theme of a memorable experience, providing pleasure to human mind whenever that memory is evoked.